Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all doing well. If you are new here, hi, hello. Thank you so much for dropping in and taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you. If you are a returning subscriber, hi, my loves. Thank you for joining me in another one of my videos. I appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoy today's content. So we have Chazzles here in her Valentine's Day dress, and that is because I'm going to do tutorials on how to make the Valentine's Day furniture that I used in my surprise Valentine's Day breakfast speed build, and this was requested by one of my lovely subscribers, and I thought, you know what, I bet you guys would all love it as well. So if you want to learn how to make some beautiful custom Valentine's Day furniture to use in your Valentine's Day builds, then keep on watching. So first things first, we are going to have to craft the bases of our furniture, and for this custom, it's going to be the dresser, the table, and chairs. So you want to go into furniture, and you want to make sure that you have the materials you're going to need to craft the base furniture. And I'm pretty sure it's the white wood, but I will double check. So we're going to be crafting the basic large table first. Yes, it is softwood. So you're going to need 15 of the softwood. And then we are going to do the chairs. And the chairs, you're going to craft as many chairs to place beside your tables. So it's either going to be 2, 4. I typically do 4. So I am going to craft 4 chairs. And then lastly, we are going to be crafting the dresser. And it's going to be the basic wardrobe. Alright, and then once we have those 3 things crafted, we're going to start customizing. So you're going to go into furniture just like you would if you were customizing clothing, and then you're going to go into the customization tab, and then we're going to go to add new. Even though I already have these ones already laid out, we're going to re-customize them from the ground up. So let's start with the basic large table first. Hit create. And for my build, I kept the base white, didn't add any sheen or anything to it. I just think it looks better natural. So that is going to be the base of the table. And first things first is we're going to create the runner that goes in the middle of the table. And for that, we're going to go into shapes, and you're going to be using the basic square piece of fabric. And we're going to want that to be red or pink, whatever color you want it to be. I'm going to be using pink because I'm going to be putting red hearts as decorations on the end of the table. So let's make the runner pink. And I'm going to be using like this blushing pink that's at the very top. We do have this one at the very bottom as well. They're similar in color, so either or would be great to use, but I like the top one better. So once we have that picked out, we are going to want to place it directly in the center, and just make sure, you know, it's as accurate in the middle as you can get it. And then we're going to shrink it down a little because I don't want it this wide. So maybe like right there. And then once we do that, you're just going to hit the button to lay it down. And then we're just going to keep doing that. So you're just going to keep adding squares, and it should already memorize the color that you have picked out. You'll probably just need to shrink it down each time you pull out a square. So let's just shrink it down again. And I'm just trying to line it up as best as I can to make it look like it connects. And then you're just going to keep on adding the squares until you get that whole runner in the middle of the table. Which, honestly, I think I'm going to make them a little more wider. So it should start to look something like this. And again, you can place the squares to whatever width you are comfortable with and you like. It doesn't have to be this thin, it can be thicker. I'm just doing the width that I want it to be at. And it can be really difficult to see where it's lining up because your tool icon is going to cover some of the places that you're trying to look at, and it can be a little annoying, but you'll find a way to check it all out and make sure everything lines up. So once we have this, you will notice that we have that little blank spot at the end to fill up, and again you're just going to be using another one of those blush colored squares. And it's okay if it goes off of the table because you want it to do that. It's gonna look more like a runner if it's kind of draping over the table, so it's perfect. See, it's kind of hard to see it when you have the arrow in place of where you're trying to lay your fabric, but that's okay. We can just keep going back. Alright, so once it looks pretty even on that side, I'm going to show you guys a trick now. So instead of doing the other side, just click on that last piece of fabric. We're going to go into our little box friend again to bring out those other tools, and then you're just going to hit the copy button, and that's going to copy onto the other side, so we don't even have to worry about doing the other end of the table. It's just gonna do it for us. So once we have the runners done, then we're going to get started on the hearts on each end of the table, and for that I just use the basic heart shaped piece of fabric. And then once we have that heart, it's going to be pink, but we don't want it pink because it's going to blend in with the runner. So we want it to be red. So we're going to go into the reds. And then I typically use this deep red. It's kind of next to the deepest red, but it's the one before that. And that's just the one that I use. You guys can use whatever color of red you want. I just think that this one looks a lot better with the runner. And then once we have that placed down, you're going to turn so that the base of the heart is going to be facing the other side of the table. And then once you have it pretty far back from the edge, we are going to again go into that box and then hit copy, and it's going to copy it to the other side for us. And obviously it didn't copy onto the other side when we did the pink one, so let's try to do it one more time. And then now we have to take this heart off. And then sometimes you'll have to go in and fix the ones that they automatically just lay it down for you, because I don't know why they're supposed to be an exact copy of what you placed on the other side, but sometimes they're a little off. So just remember that, and just remember to go check and see if you need to make adjustments. That way they are perfectly lined up with the other side. And then again, just copy that heart, and it's going to look like this. So once we have that done, we are going to put something in the center, and it can be whatever you want. It can be a flower, it can be a jewel, it can be one of those jewel hearts, it can be whatever item you want to use in the center. I just use the pink jewel. I don't know if it looks kind of like opal, but that is what I use in the center because I just love the way it glistens, and it could be like a little stone or maybe like a pearl. I just think it looks really cute. So that is what I'm going to be using, and then I'm going to be shrinking it down a little bit because we want it to line up exactly with the runner. And you're going to want to place this as much in the center as you can. So you want to make sure that this pearl is going to be as much in the center as you can get it, because you want to make sure all the lace that we're going to add to it is going to be lined up to the other side. So you want to try to get it as much in the middle as you can. And then what I like to do is I will place a piece of fabric or lace beside it, and then I will copy that to the other side to see how far off I am. So let's place that there, and then I will copy, and it'll show you exactly where that pearl needs to be. See how it's kind of a little bit off? So let's move this a little bit more to the center. Let's try right there, and then we will remove these again, and then we'll try again to see. Alright, so we are perfect now. So it lined up evenly on both sides, so you know that that pearl is centered. So yay, good job. Alright, so now we're going to add lace to the sides of the pearl, and I'm just going to use the ones that I was already using before because I like the way that they look. And you can use whatever kind of lace you want to use. It doesn't have to be what I'm using. You can use the other one. You can use more shapes. I like the way the lace looks. And then I'm going to put my lace right underneath the pearl a little bit. So like right there, and then once you have that, if you are using lace like me, you're going to copy and paste that to the other side, or whatever lace you guys chose, or whatever item you chose to put next to that pearl. And then it's going to look like this, all nice and even. And then now I'm going to add another little piece of lace right underneath the ones that I have already placed down. And for that, I think I'm going to use this one instead of the one we used before. And I like this lace as well because it has a little heart detail on it, if you can see. So I think it fits perfect with the Valentine's Day theme. Okay, so once we have something like that, again, I'm just going to copy and paste that to the other side. And it should perfectly line up because we have centered the base, which is our pearl, right in the center. So we won't need to go back in and fix anything because it should automatically already be pretty lined up. So we have the table runner done. If you want to add more to it, you can. I just kind of like to keep it simple with the lace. So that is what we have for the table runner part. Now we are going to be doing the paint on the corners of the table, and it's going to look like lace again, but it's going to be like little painted vines. So go back into all, and it's going to be this little motif here, the one that looks like a flower in the center with two flowers coming out, and then it looks like the stem on the bottom. And once we grab that, I'm going to make this red now to match our hearts, and again it's going to be that same red that I used the last time for the hearts, and then you're just going to place this in the corner. And again, you can adjust, you can stretch it out as far as you want. If you don't want some of those dots showing, you can bring it up more, you can bring it down more and stretch it out. It's whatever you guys like and where you want your little motif placed. And for mine, I think I'm going to do it right there, maybe a little lower. So something like right there, and then once you place that one down, you should be able to copy and paste again onto the other side. And yep, it's over there on the other side, and then again we're just going to do that to the left side. So again, grab one of the motifs that we just used, and then it should already be red because we've been using that color red for the other one. And then as you can see, I'm going to have to shrink it down, and just by judgment kind of make it as accurate to the right side as I can get it size wise. And again, it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be noticeable. You're going to have, you know, items on your table, or it's going to be in your house, and you're not really going to be paying attention to all of those details. So, and then as you can see for this one, we're going to have to mirror it. Okay, so now we want to turn it and mirror it to the other side, and in order to do that, you're going to use this little, looks like a turnaround sign in your toolbar again, and you're just going to press that, and it's going to turn it the way that we want it to be facing. See how it's pretty much facing the same way as the other one? That is what we want. And then we're just going to stretch it out and size it to make it look exactly like the other one. And you might have to keep tweaking it to get it perfectly lined up. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to kind of get it as equal to the other side as much as you can. And then once it looks pretty equal to the right side, let's make it a little bigger. A little bigger, a little bit down too. See, it's just going to be a lot of tweaking to make sure it lines up. See, that looks pretty even. Alright, so once it's even on that left side, again, you're just going to copy and paste it onto the other end of the table, and our table is done. Kind of gotta bring this side in smaller. So we don't want the, see how it's running off the table? We don't want that, so we're gonna have to fix it, which is okay. then I'm just shrinking it down, that way it's not running off the table on that side. Could be a glitch too, because it shouldn't be. Alright, now I'm going to delete the other one because this one's running off the table. And then now I'm just going to go back into this one and copy paste it again and hope that it's not running off the side of the table. It is kind of, but it's okay. Alright, so table is done, and this is going to be the final look of the table. So now that we have the table done, we are going to move on to the chairs. I'm just going to be making one chair because you literally don't have to do each one, and I'm going to show you what I mean. But so I'm going to go to add new and do basic chair create. And then the chair is pretty much going to be the same as the table. It's going to have pink base, red heart in the middle, and some lace on each corner. So we want the base of the chair to be pink, and it's going to be that same pink that we've been using. This blushing pink. And then you can either have it be glossy, like it looks like it's shiny, or you can stick to matte, either or. I like matte, I'm a matte girl, so I'm going to keep it matte. And then once you have the base picked out, then we're going to add that heart. Then you're just going to again make sure that this is red, and it's going to be that same red that we've been using, that way everything matches together. And then you want to make it the size that you want it to be on your chair. I kind of typically just like to have it be like medium size, just because I want to be able to see that lace detail on the ends as well. So I'd say like this is probably about a middle-sized heart, if I'm guessing. So once you have the heart placed in the center, we're then going to add the white lace around it. Alright. And you can just play around with the lace, see where it lines up, see where you want it, see how far out you want it to show. It's totally up to you guys. And then once you have that piece of lace placed on the left side, again, we're just going to copy and paste that on to the right. So it's going to look like that. And we're going to add more lace, but let's get these corners filled with this lace first. So again, that same lace that we used. And I might actually make these ones a little bigger. And then I'm going to delete this one because we made it bigger. And again, just copy paste that onto the other side. And then this guy is going to be a little bigger. And then just copy paste that on to the left again. And you're gonna have something like this. Super cute. I'm going to add a little bit more lace to it, so let's do this one, and then you can again place this piece wherever you want it, wherever you want to see it coming out from. Totally up to you guys. rotating it until it's in a nice position that you want it to be in. And then again, you can just copy paste that onto the opposite side. And then let's add another layer to the back. And I'm just using the end of the other pattern to make sure it's the same size. So it looks pretty good to me. And then again, we're going to copy and paste that onto the other side. And then that's the chair. Super easy. So what I was meaning when you're not going to have to make each chair 4 times or 2 times. So you're just going to go into whatever you created, and if you want more of those chairs, it's going to give you the option to put out as many as you have. As long as you have that number of base chairs that you crafted, it'll just keep putting them out for you. So you won't have to make each individually. Same as the table. So I had 3 of the base white tables made, and then that means that I can put 3 of those tables that I designed out, if that makes sense. So you guys aren't going to have to go in and make each one brand new each time. Alright, so now that we have the table and chairs, let's move on to the dresser. And I will keep these out just to show that we have already done these. Alright, so let's move on to the dresser, and again, it's going to be the same thing like with the table and chairs. We're just going to go to New, Basic Wardrobe, and then Create. And for this one, it's going to be a lot similar to the table. I kind of wanted it to match the table and the chairs as much as I could. So it's pretty much going to look similar. So we're going to start off with the handlebars. And again, we're going to want to make the handlebars red or pink, whatever you guys want to decide on. I'm going to be using pink handles, and then I will just do the rest red. So let's go back into that blushing pink that we were using before, and then set that as the color of the handles. And then you can change it to not be metal or metal, either or. I don't like the metal look, so I'm just going to keep it off. And then again, you can change it to either being glossy or back to that matte finish. And like I said, I like matte finish, so I'm going to keep it at matte. And then once you have the handlebars done, we're going to move on to those hearts on each side of the wardrobe, just like the table. And then again, that same red we've been using. And then for this one, we're going to shrink it down a lot because you want it to be small enough to where it's going to be directly on the side of the handle. And then for that, this is the smallest you can get it just regularly. We need it smaller than that. So again, we're going to go back into our extra tools, which is that little box. And then we're going to go down to the world looking option, and it's going to shrink it down for us. And then now you can make it larger a little bit depending on how big you want it, but at least it's going to give us more of an option than just having it as small as we can get it in the original form. And then once you have the heart the size that you want it to be, again, you can just copy paste that onto the other side. Alright, so now we are going to make the bottom door red. So we're going to have one be white, and then we're going to have the other one be red. And then for this, I'm going to be using our favorite little piece of cloth, our most versatile guy. And I'm just going to bring him all the way down to the dresser, and then you're going to center him in the middle as best as you can, and then you're just going to stretch it out. Like that. And then now we have one of the drawers that being red rather than just white. So now we're going to create corners, and for the corners, again, we're going to be using that pink color that we've been using, the blushing pink, and then the piece of fabric that we're going to be using is the semicircle. And we don't want it to be red, so let's turn it to that blushing pink. And then we're going to want to shrink it down a little bit, and then you're going to turn it kind of like at an angle, and it's going to make the illusion of it having a corner. And then you can stretch it out as much as you want it to be shown, shrink it down. It's totally up to what you guys want it to be. I kind of like it to be a little thick, so I'm thinking like maybe right there. You can always make it thicker too. And it'll let you know when you've gone down far too much. Alright, so I'm going to see how this looks, so I'm going to copy paste that to the other side. And then now it looks like you have corners. And then now that we've done it to the bottom, we have to do it to the top. So again, let's get that semicircle, and it should already be pink, the pink that we're already using. And then again, you're going to turn it at an angle, and then just try to get it identical to the bottom half. It's going to be really hard to get them to be the same size. So if they're not, don't beat yourself up about it. It's not going to be noticeable. You just want to try to get it as matching to the bottom as you can get it. So once you got one side done, again, you're going to copy and paste that to the other side. And then just like we did on the table and the chairs, we're going to add some lace detail. And again, this lace is going to look like that red one that we placed on the table. You can always add white if you wanted instead. Like, we can add those white flourishes. But if you want to add the white flourishes, you're going to have to make the base of your wardrobe another color. So it's going to either have to be that pink that we've been using, or it's going to have to be the red. Alright, and then it's going to be pink because we've been using it. We want it to be red, so let's change it to that red that we've been using. And then for this, you're going to, again, place it wherever you want it. I do it upside down. And then I just kind of shrink it, or I will blow it up to wherever I want it. And then once you have it placed where you want it, again, we can copy and paste that to the other side. So it's going to look like this. And then now we're going to do it to the bottom. I kind of wish that you could zoom out and see it all, because it's hard to judge exactly how it's going to look on the bottom as the top, because the camera angle shifts. So if you can try to get it to this angle, that would be most ideal, because you'll be able to not only see the top one that you laid down, but the bottom as well, so that you can make them line up similar. And then I think this one we're going to have to mirror. So again, you're going to hit this kind of like turnaround button, and then it's going to mirror it to look like the top. And then once it's where you want it and it looks pretty even, I'm just going to blow it up a little bit more. You're going to copy and paste that to the other side, and then it should look like this. Perfect, and that is the wardrobe, guys. So these furniture items, I wanted to make them so that they aren't too difficult to be able to create, and I think I did a pretty good job. I only had to record maybe like 30 minutes, so it's not going to take you guys a lot of time to make this furniture set. Because again, you're keeping that base just white and you're just adding layers to it. So this is what your set is going to look like when it's all done. And then I will show you guys the build that I did, just so you can get an idea of how it's going to fit into your Valentine's Day build. So here is the furniture laid down in my build, and I really love it. I think it looks really cute together, and then just playing into the whites, the reds, and the pink definitely screams Valentine's Day to me, as well as the hearts. So this is what it looks like again in a Valentine's Day build. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you get some inspiration for your Valentine's Day build from this video. And definitely head over to Instagram if you guys make these customs and do your builds, and then tag me in them so that I can see your guys' builds and how you incorporated this furniture into your builds for Valentine's Day, because I want to see it. I want to see what you guys came up with. And again, it just makes me really happy that you guys get inspiration and designs from me, and I just love seeing what you guys do with them and how you incorporate them into your valley. So definitely tag me in them. And again, guys, thank you so much for being here. And if you love this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because there's going to be a lot more custom dresses, a lot more custom furnitures in the future, and I want to share them with you all. But thank you so much, friends. Have a wonderful day. Until the next one. Bye, guys.